The summer Dela Pute turned 11, she started hauling things other farmers threw away. Every Saturday morning, she'd pedal her bicycle down the dirt roads of Callaway County, Kentucky. 0:11:11 seconds stopping at the edges of fields where old equipment sat rusting in the grass. 0:16:16 seconds, she wasn't looking for scrap metal to sell. She wasn't building a fort. She had a single quiet purpose, and she 0:24:24 seconds wasn't telling anyone what it was. She knocked on doors. She asked politely, and farmer after farmer said the same. 0:32:32 seconds thing. Sure, honey, help yourself. Then they'd lean against their porch rails and watch her wrestle broken. 0:38:38 seconds aluminum irrigation pipes into a wooden trailer her father had built her, and they'd chuckle, the gentle, confused. 0:46:46 seconds kind of laughter that comes not from cruelty, but from complete bafflement. 0:51:51 seconds an 11-year-old girl collecting old pipes. By the time August arrived, she had more pipe than some of the working. 0:58:58 seconds farms in the county, and she hadn't explained herself to a single soul. 1:021 minute, 2 seconds nobody knew what she was planning, not even her father. But they were about to find out. If stories of determination. 1:101 minute, 10 seconds family, and the quiet wisdom hidden in ordinary places move you. Subscribe and join us every week. Drop a comment and 1:181 minute, 18 seconds tell us where you're watching from. We'd love to know how far this story has traveled. Callaway County sits in the 1:241 minute, 24 seconds western corner of Kentucky where the land rolls gently toward the Tennessee River and summers arrive over it. 1:311 minute, 31 seconds delivered. By July, the sky turns the color of old brass. The air smells of turned earth and diesel and drying hay. 1:401 minute, 40 seconds. It was the kind of place where families had farmed the same ground for 4 generations and weren't embarrassed to say so. Dela Pute was the middle child. 1:481 minute, 48 seconds off 3. Born to Harlan and June Pute, who worked about 40 acres of river bottomland, Harlan grew corn and 1:561 minute, 56 seconds soybeans, occasionally tobacco when the price made sense. He was a methodical man, deliberate in speech, patient in 2:042 minutes, for seconds all things except drought, which tested him the way nothing else did. June kept a kitchen garden of extraordinary 2:112 minutes, 11 seconds ambition. Tomatoes, peppers, squash, pole beans strung on hand-cut cedar stakes. She was the one who first put 2:192 minutes, 19 second seeds in Dela's hands when Dela was barely old enough to reach the soil without bending her knees. Dela's grandmother, Opal, lived in a small room. 2:282 minutes, 28 seconds off the back of the farmhouse. She was 81 years old and spent most mornings at the kitchen table with a cup of black. 2:352 minutes, 35 seconds coffee, and old agricultural extension pamphlets she'd been collecting since the 1960s. She read them the way other. 2:432 minutes, 43 seconds people read novels. It was Opal who first noticed that Dela was watching the fields differently than other children. 2:502 minutes, 50 seconds did, not looking at the crops, looking at the water, where it pulled, where it ran off, where the soil cracked first in. 2:582 minutes, 58 seconds dry weather, where it stayed dark the longest after rain. The summer Callaway County entered its 3rd year of below 3:053 minutes, 5 seconds average rainfall. Dela began to see a problem that the adults around her had simply learned to live with. Her father's soybeans were suffering in the 3:143 minutes, 14 seconds upper fields where the soil was sere and water moved through it too fast to do much good. The county extension agent, a 3:223 minutes, 22 seconds dead-natured man named Clifton Barr, had come out twice to look at the situation and offered what advice he could. 3:303 minutes, 30 seconds irrigate more frequently. Mulch around the base of plants to retain moisture. 3:353 minutes, 35 seconds but irrigating more frequently cost money and burned diesel, and there was never enough water pressure to run the lines up to the high ground without the 3:443 minutes, 44 second system losing efficiency halfway across the field. Dela listened to every word Clifton Barr said. She asked questions he wasn't used to hearing from 11-year-olds. 3:553 minutes, 55 seconds if the pressure drops going uphill. What happens to the water that never makes it to the top? Clifton paused. It just 4:034 minutes, 3 second stops. Sits in the line. She nodded slowly. The way a person nods when they've already thought about something. For 104 minutes, 10 seconds for a long time and just needed one more piece to confirm it. That was in May. By June, She had started collecting pipes. For Colin 184 minutes, 18 seconds here is what Dayla understood and what most of the adults around her had never quite put together. Water doesn't care about cost. It only cares about gravity. For Colin 294 minutes, 29 seconds the upper fields on her father's farm sat about 14 foot higher than the pond at the bottom of the property. A small. For Colin 364 minutes, 36 seconds spring-fed basin that had never gone dry, not even in the worst summers. 14 feet of elevation. That's all it was. And for Colin 454 minutes, 45 seconds Dayla had been reading Opal's old pamphlets. She'd learned about drip irrigation, delivering water directly to plant roots through slow emitters rather. For Colin 544 minutes, 54 seconds then overhead sprinklers using up to 60% less water because none of it evaporates off hot soil or runs down a slope. 5 Colin 025 minutes, 2 seconds unused. She'd also read about gravity-fed systems, old designs from before electric pumps existed, where 5 Colin 105 minutes, 10 seconds water at a higher elevation flows downhill through pipes to reach lower fields. The pond on her father's farm. 5 Colin 175 minutes, 17 seconds sat below the damaged fields, so that wouldn't work. But there was a seasonal catchment, a shallow draw on the north. 5 Colin 255 minutes, 25 seconds edge of the property where rainwater pooled naturally after storms, standing for days before soaking in or drying up. 5 Colin 335 minutes, 33 seconds that draw sat above the problem fields by about 9 feet of elevation routed through the right pipe network. That was 5 Colin 425 minutes, 42 seconds enough head pressure to drip irrigate a quarter acre without running a single pump. And she had the pipes to build it. 5 Colin 495 minutes, 49 seconds, what she built that summer was not elegant. It was a child's version of an engineer's idea, assembled with 5 Colin 565 minutes, 56 seconds mismatched PVC fittings, sections of old aluminum lateral pipe her father had replaced 3 years earlier, and a roll of 6 Colin 046 minutes, 4 seconds drip tape she'd bought at the farm supply store in town. Using money she'd saved from selling eggs, she dug shallow. 6 Colin 116 minutes, 11 seconds trenches by hand. Her father watched from a distance the first weekend, said nothing, and then quietly went to get a 6 Colin 186 minutes, 18 second shovel, and help her dig without asking what she was building. That was Harlan's way. Her older brother, Cass, thought the whole thing was a waste of summer. 6 Colin 286 minutes, 28 seconds her younger sister, Ren, thought it looked like a science project and stayed close, handing Dayla tools she didn't always need. The first attempt failed. 6 Colin 376 minutes, 37 seconds the connections at the collector basin weren't tight enough, and the whole system leaked at 3 separate joints before it got 10 yards down the slope. 6 Colin 466 minutes, 46 seconds Dayla refitted every connection with plumber's tape and tried again. The second attempt built enough pressure to reach the first row of plants, but 6 Colin 556 minutes, 55 seconds barely. The emitters delivered a thin, irregular trickle. Some plants got water, most didn't. She went back to 7 Colin 037 minutes, 3 seconds Opal's pamphlets. She found a passage about pipe diameter and flow rate. How the width of a pipe determines not just 7 Colin 107 minutes, 10 seconds show much water moves, but how quickly pressure equalizes across a run. The sections she'd used on the main line. 7 Colin 177 minutes, 17 seconds were too narrow. She needed to step up the diameter at the collector and step it back down at the emitter lines. She 7 Colin 247 minutes, 24 seconds spent 2 weeks trading pipe sections with a retired farmer named Wendell Coe, who had a barn full of irrigation. 7 to 327 minutes, 32 seconds equipment from a commercial vegetable operation he'd closed in 2009. He let her trade her smaller pipe for his. 7 Colin 407 minutes, 40 seconds larger sections, and he did it without charging her because he said he liked her stubbornness. On the third attempt, 7 Colin 477 minutes, 47 seconds the system worked. The soybeans in the upper field were by mid-August the healthiest plants on the farm. Harlan, 7 Colin 547 minutes, 54 seconds noticed first. He walked the rows twice before saying anything. The soil was dark and moist. The leaves were deep. 8 Colin 028 minutes, 2 seconds green, upright, and wide. The posture of plants that weren't stressed. In the neighboring rows, where the gravity fed. 8 Colin 108 minutes, 10 seconds lines hadn't yet reached. The same soybean variety was pale and beginning to curl from heat stress. He went to 8 Colin 178 minutes, 17 seconds find his daughter. She was adjusting an emitter near the top of the run, lying flat in the dirt to reach it. He stood there a moment looking at her. How much? 8 Colin 268 minutes, 26 seconds water is this thing using? He finally asked. She told him. The number was about 40% of what his conventional system used to deliver the same area. 8:368 minutes, 36 seconds, he was quiet for a long time. Then, you want to extend it to the east field. Clifton Barr came back in September. 8:448 minutes, 44 seconds officially. He walked the whole system with Dela, asking questions and taking notes. He had the posture of a man. 8:528 minutes, 52 seconds recalibrating something. He said he'd never seen a gravity-fed drip network built from salvaged materials produce. 8:598 minutes, 59 seconds results like this on a family farm. He asked if he could bring an agricultural engineering student from Murray State. 9:069 minutes, 6 seconds out the following spring. A reporter from the county paper came too. 9:119 minutes, 11 seconds eventually. She wrote a feature that ran on the front page below the fold. The headline called Dela, a young innovator. 9:189 minutes, 18 seconds. Dela thought the word was embarrassing. 9:219 minutes, 21 seconds. By the time October arrived, word had traveled. The farmers who had handed Dela their old pipes, the ones who had. 9:289 minutes, 28 seconds chuckled from their porch rails, drove out to see for themselves. They came expecting to be polite. They were not. 9:359 minutes, 35 seconds prepared for what they found. The upper field was a different color than every other field in the county, while neighboring rows stood thin and yellowed. 9:439 minutes, 43 seconds from the long dry summer, Dela's soybeans were dense and deeply green. 9:499 minutes, 49 seconds. The canopy so full it nearly blocked the soil beneath. The plants stood straight, heavy with pods, every leaf facing. 9:579 minutes, 57 seconds upward like they had something to be proud of. A few of the farmers walked the rows without saying a word. One of 10:0410 minutes, 4 seconds. Then pulled a pod and split it open with his thumbnail. He looked at it for a long moment, then looked at the 11-year-old girl standing at the edge of 10:1210 minutes, 12 seconds. The field with dirt on her boots. What you do different? He asked. She showed them. The pipes, the draw, the gravity. 10:2110 minutes, 21 seconds. The emitters running slow and steady just below the surface, delivering water directly to the roots without wasting a. 10:2810 minutes, 28 seconds drop to evaporation or runoff. The same water those men had never thought twice about letting puddle and disappear. She. 10:3610 minutes, 36 seconds walk them through every junction, every fitting, every length of salvaged aluminum that had once been destined for. 10:4210 minutes, 42 seconds. Scrap pile. The laughter was gone. In its place was something quieter, something that takes longer to arrive. 10:5010 minutes, 50 seconds. Than laughter, but lasts considerably longer. Several of them asked Dela if she'd help them lay something similar. 10:5810 minutes, 58 seconds before next planting season. She said she would. Masanobu Fukuoka, the Japanese farmer and philosopher once. 11:0611 minutes, 6 seconds wrote, "The ultimate goal of farming is not the growing of crops, but the cultivation and perfection of human." 11:1411 minutes, 14 seconds. Beings. Dela Pute grew soybeans that summer. Exceptional soybeans, water efficient, soil healthy, drought resistant. 11:2311 minutes, 23 seconds. Soybeans that outperformed fields managed by people with decades of experience. But that wasn't the harvest. 11:3011 minutes, 30 seconds. The harvest was something harder to measure. The patience of a child who watched water instead of yields. The willingness to ask for things people. 11:3911 minutes, 39 seconds. Considered worthless. The discipline to fail twice and build again without complaint. Real agricultural knowledge rarely comes from expensive equipment. 11:4911 minutes, 49 seconds. It comes from paying attention, from understanding that what others discard still has purpose if you're willing to figure out what it is. Dela is 12 now. 12:0012 minutes. She's already designing an expanded system for the East Field. Wendell Coe is helping her with the math. Opal is still. 12:0712 minutes, 7 seconds reading pamphlets. And the pipes that once rusted at the edges of fields across Callaway County are now growing. 12:1412 minutes, 14 seconds. Things. What farming lessons stayed with you from Dela's story? Drop it in the comments. We read everyone. Tell us. 12:2212 minutes, 22 seconds. Where you're watching from. This community reaches further than you'd think. And if stories like this one matter to you, subscribe. Sync to video time.